So I'm making this video about dredging and seagrass. Actually, I'm parked outside the office right now. It's a real rainy day today, but I just got off a phone call. Somebody asked me about dredging, so I wanted to make this video. So the thing with dredging is, obviously you guys know from previous videos, or if you don't, I'll explain it again. In the Florida Keys, only maintenance dredging is allowed. What that means is you can only re-dredge areas that have been dredged in the past. Now that's not an end-all be-all though, because of the seagrass. So depending on where your project is located, even if it has been dredged before, you may or may not be able to dredge the area because of seagrass. So City of Marathon, Monroe County, and Village of Islamorada all have different rules. In Monroe County, you can't dredge if there's seagrass, period. Even if it's been dredged before, it gets filled in from a storm, something like that, seagrass starts growing, you're literally screwed. You can't dredge the area. It's happened to us on projects before where we've gone through Army Corps, DEP, Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary, everybody, just to get to the county, and the county looks at the benthic, says, oh, the seagrass, you can't do any dredging here. And then you're done, you're dead in the water. So it's really important to do your dredging right away before seagrass starts growing. People will say then, okay, well, what if a storm fills in the canal or fills in the mouth of my basin, etc.? That's why it's really important to do it and pull your permits right away. Because if there's a storm event and a bunch of sand, silt, debris, whatever blows in, and now your area is closed off, you need to pull your permits and do the dredging ASAP before seagrass starts to grow. Because once seagrass starts to grow, you're done. The only caveat to that rule is Duck Key. So Duck Key lobbied years ago, it's probably 3-4 years ago, they lobbied with Monroe County to get an amendment to the LDCs made, the Land Development Code, that states there can be no dredging of seagrass except in the interior canals of Duck Key. So no dredging outside the canals of Duck Key of seagrass. You can only dredge seagrass inside the canals of Duck Key. That is literally the only area short of the ports and the navigation stuff with the Coast Guard and things like that in Key West. It's the only area short of those that you can dredge if there is seagrass. Now, Village of Islamorada and City of Marathon are a little bit different. City of Marathon and Village of Islamorada, you can dredge inside your basins, even if there's seagrass. You can dredge inside canals, even if there's seagrass. And just so you know, canal would be defined as either a canal cut through open water or a canal that has hardened shorelines on either side. Something of that nature. If it's on open water, though, in Islamorada and Marathon, you cannot dredge seagrass in open water. So again, if you have, say you have a canal coming out of your house or a canal going to your house, whatever, even if that's deep enough, but the mouth of it, so you have say you have a, I don't know how to explain this best, but say you have a seawall going out, then your seawall stops and it goes to open water. If a storm blows in and moves silt all the way across the portion of the dredged area that's open water and seagrass starts to grow there, even if it's deep enough on the inside, because the seagrass is located on the outside, you won't be able to dredge that either. So I get phone calls like this constantly, and people are like, oh, well, it's been dredged before, it just filled in, etc., etc. It doesn't matter. If it starts to grow seagrass, you cannot dredge seagrass in open water in any case, or in Monroe County's case, even if it's in canals, you can't dredge seagrass. So it's very important to look at your projects beforehand, make sure there's no seagrass. And if there is seagrass, you start to see seagrass grow, whatever, make sure you do your dredging and apply for your permits ASAP before that seagrass goes in, because once it's classified as a seagrass bed, which is defined as a dense area of seagrass that's greater than 100 square feet, so just 10 by 10, then you're dead in the water. You can't dredge. Unless your canal is big enough that you can dredge a path around it. It has to be minimum 20 feet wide, and you can dredge around it, which we've done on projects before. Then you can get that approved, but you cannot dredge areas where there's seagrass. So stress that to everybody, keep an eye on it. If you have a dredging project you think you're worried about, whatever, contact us, we'll take a look at it. But I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.